So, tonight during President Obama's State of the Union address, he'll continue the tradition of introducing some special guests sitting with the First Lady in the visitors gallery. Well, as deserving of this honor as his scheduled guests are, I think that the president should just scrap them all and shine his spotlight on another guy who's given a pretty big speech today, namely Steve Jobs. Because when you get right down to it, no matter how much the president talks about national security, healthcare reform, education, and a whole host of other things, the one subject that will be on the minds of every politician in the House chamber tonight will be jobs creation. And there's no other man in this country who knows more about how to stimulate our economy and create new jobs than Steve Jobs. After all, this is a guy who started out building personal computers in a garage back when most people had no idea what a personal computer was, let alone how to use one, and then would then turn that business into a $50 billion a year giant which just had its most profitable quarter ever as we're emerging from a recession. And on top of all of that, Steve Jobs today introduced the world to the iPad, Apple's new revolutionary pad device, which will, by all accounts, supercharge the growth of this whole new cottage industry of app development that grew out of Apple's App Store. You know, hundreds and thousands of software developers have started their own small businesses creating apps for the iPhone, iPod Touch, and now the iPad. A whole industry which wouldn't exist today without Steve Jobs. And were the president to shine that spotlight on Mr. Jobs, it would be good for the assembled politicians and the American people to take note of the fact that Steve Jobs did not have an easy road to where he is today. He worked crushingly long hours, lost control of Apple for many years, watching as it was almost sold off for parts, then returned to revitalize and reimagine the company into what it is today. A survivor of both pancreatic cancer and a liver transplant, he's a guy who never gives up and should serve as a reminder to all of us that the only way to conquer adversity is through hard work. We all got into this crappy economy together by electing public officials who were asleep at the wheel and by investing far too much of our money in sleazy real estate deals and get-rich-quick schemes. You know, there are no apps on any of Mr. Jobs' devices that will get us out of this mess. It took a lot of time to screw our economy up, and it's going to take a lot of time and hard work to get it back on track. And that's the state of our union.